Okay. Right. The first thing that he told me not to do, you saw, I started back. But I usually do that anyway to start the show.
Starting the show now, I'm looking at our guest background.
Well, but
what I'm noticing is que yo no he hecho nada en la vida.
Bueno, we all know that. Only eat.
Yeah, that's what people think. I only eat for free. No,
anyway,
but our
to
guests.
continue our series. Okay, let me
go for it.
Estás muy excitado. That's the tequila you have.
No, I get pumped up. I see somebody like this.
Before we want to continue our series, because we're doing our series with, City of Miami mayoral candidates in here in the day of Miami.
Yes.
So we want to introduce today our other candidate, which is Emilio González. So welcome to the show.
Welcome. Thank you, mister. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
How you doing, sir?
Good. Thank you.
So, I like to start off with everybody that comes to the show with the question. This is very simple. I always do it with my best expression. Why are you running for the City of Miami mayor? Why the City of Miami, Emilio?
Well, I got to tell you, normally when you run for public office, that's the first question people ask.
Yes.
I think it's the most important.
Except in the City of Miami, people, all you have to do is turn into social media, turn on the television, listen to the radio, pick up a newspaper, and you know why you have to run for mayor. Because it's one great big soap opera, una telenovela, nonstop. Usually what they end up asking me is, are you crazy?
Well, that could be the second question.
Why would you do that?
That was my question.
Why would you do that to yourself? But it's got to get done. It really does. This was not on my bucket list. I'm a very happy father, grandfather. I love watching my grandson play basketball. I'm actually, I think I'm still one of the only candidates for mayor that actually works for a living. I still have a job, which also takes up part of my time. So this is something that, quite frankly, is not something that I planned. It's just something that just, I don't want to say it was thrust upon me, but it had to get done.
Okay. So a lot of people may not know this of our viewers, but you were city administrator.
Correct. I was a city manager.
City manager. Okay. So from city manager to mayor, what's the difference? Well, what's the difference in that?
What does the city manager do for those? Well,
the way the city is structured, we have a mayor-manager form of government. The mayor actually picks the city manager. He appoints the city manager. And the city manager runs the day-to-day operations of the city. That is to say, all the city employees work for the manager. The manager can decide who's going to be a department head. The manager can fire people with reason. So it comes down to.
Here you go, brother.
Thank you. The mayor is essentially the chief executive officer of the city, and the manager is the chief operations officer of the city. The mayor's the chief executive. The mayor appoints the city manager. There's a good balance of politics because the mayor appoints the manager. The mayor has veto authority on any stupid stuff that the commission would undertake. And the mayor also serves as the head of the commission, of the city commission, which is also very important if they exercise that role.
What are the issues right now that's really making you upset and driving you to really get out after this?
I'll tell you what the main issue right now is, and I've had the opportunity now to walk all the neighborhoods, and I like to get out and talk to people.
Talking about that, I've seen you all over my Instagram.
Well, listen.
What's up with that?
Well, because you got to get out and talk to people. But listen, from the oldest viejita to the youngest couple with small children, the biggest thing on everybody's mind is the rampant corruption in our city. It's amazing. I mean, even I have been surprised. I have my elevator speech about what I want to do, and they stop me and they say, no, we got to get rid of all these people. Todos los delincuentes, they have to go to prison. And then they give me a lecture about how Miami's broken, how our politicians are only in it for themselves, how all they want to do is jump from one political seat to another, and on and on and on. That's the main thing that I hear. The second thing that I hear, which is not shocking, but it is surprising that it hasn't come out before, is people are scared. People are scared of their own government. I will talk to people, and they'll say, hey, don't take my picture. I go to businesses, and they'll say, I'm with you, but don't let anybody know. Why? Because if you own a business and you appear to be supporting somebody who's not in vogue, they could shut your business down. And it's happened before here.
Yeah.
Or they send somebody to your house, and all of a sudden you got 3 code compliance officers in the front of your house telling you your grass is too tall, or you have a branch hanging. I mean, the issue of fear is something that I, quite frankly, didn't expect to. It comes hand in hand with corruption, I guess, is what I'm saying.
But this is things that these people are telling you when you're walking the
Absolutely.
streets, that they're having fear
Absolutely.
within the city of anything that they're doing with
In
the
the city,
or
I've had
businesses and stuff like
Right.
that.
I've had businessmen tell me, not only am I supporting you, I'm actually going to write you a check, but it won't come from me because I can't have my name appear as somebody who's supporting you. And I tell them, you know what? Thank you, but that's why I'm running. We should not have to be afraid of our own government. That happens in other countries. It doesn't happen here.
Businesses are being harassed?
Absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely. Small businesses are being harassed. In addition to the corruption issue, just now you mentioned small businesses, they can't get anything done. People are waiting years for a permit.
Okay, so parentheses on that, because that was one of the biggest questions that we had, and we asked the other candidate passed by, because that's one of the biggest questions that we get from all of our viewership is the fact of the permitting situation
Right.
in the city. But my question then to you is, what has changed from the time that you were administrator to now? You know, is it something that as mayor you could do better?
You have to remember that also what has changed is, first, it's a 5-year period. Okay.
Okay.
Secondly, as the manager, you don't have a vote, so the manager essentially executes what the elected officials decide they want to do.
Perfect.
So you go from having a vote and
Right.
being able to actually initiate policy and promote policy to the manager who has to execute it. That's the big change right there.
So by you recommending, they have to vote for it.
Exactly.
Correct.
Or they vote for it, and
then you execute.
and I can veto it if I don't like it.
Correct.
But that is to say that those are powers that are not vested in the city manager.
So would that be one of your priorities too, to try and fix the whole situation of the permitting?
Oh, that's permitting and procurement. And I use this as an example. I have businessmen who, by the way, everything that I tell you on issues is plus corruption. Okay, so it's permitting and corruption, procurement and permitting. From the day that they lifted the first piece of dirt from the ground,
Right.
until the day they dedicated it, the Empire State Building was built in 410 days. That's a year and a week.
That's crazy.
You can't get a certificate of occupancy in 410 days.
It's crazy.
You can't move into your business. We actually have people that go out of business before they go in business.
Yeah.
Why? Because you buy a location and then you're paying rent the minute you sign the contract, and then you're waiting 2 years to get permits, and then by that time you're out of money, so you end up selling.
We had a pod on grease traps.
Yeah.
And permitting by Durham and all that stuff. Remember? It was incredible what they do to us.
I had a gentleman tell me that, just for the sake of argument, they had an Italian restaurant that closed, and the people bought it, and they wanted to make it into a Mexican restaurant. Okay, so the Italian restaurant had some fines, some code issues. So the people that were going to buy it said, "Fine, we'll take care of the issues."
Right.
They were told by the city, "No, you have to take care of the issues before you buy it." So, in other words, they're going to cure all of these code violations, and then the new people are going to come in and tear it all down. I mean,
They're going to put you on the clock.
these things just don't make sense whatsoever. And again, the war stories continue. You know, you go through all the numbers, and your inspector signs off everything, and then the next week another inspector comes by and says, no, Pepe was here last week. He was wrong, so now you got to do this.
You think you can really take care of those issues? I think that's
Yes.
my stepdad's been an architect 30, 40 years.
Yes.
That's all I hear.
Yes, I know.
It never gets better. You know,
And
I'm not saying guys.
no,
like
and
you,
now
somebody
now
In the city.
listen. Now I'm telling you it gets worse, because now you have people that have businesses here that don't want to expand their businesses, and you have people that want to start new business. People that live in Miami and they would prefer to start a business in Fort Lauderdale.
For sure. We see that a lot.
Okay.
Easier process in Fort
We
Lauderdale.
see it a lot.
It's easier process anywhere.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
Go Go ahead. Finish.
No. I was going to say, so the permitting issue is one that everybody agrees with, and there are, by the way, there are best practices around the country, but unfortunately we have a city that's organized in the 1970s, and this is now 2025, and we haven't caught up with that. This is just an example. This is in the, I don't know what I don't know. If you want to put an addition on your home because abuela's moving in, right? That's all it is. It's an addition. Why can't you have an architect who's licensed, draw the plans, an engineer who's licensed, build the addition? You take the plans to the city, and the city should at that point just be the repository of the plans. Why do you need 11 inspectors to come out and tell this licensed architect and this licensed engineer what he did or did not do? It's an addition. You're not building a skyscraper. It's a fourth bedroom in your backyard. These are the things that you have to think outside the box. You have to be bold on this stuff. My plan on taxes is also bold.
What is that? What is that plan?
I think that we need to do away with the city portion of our property taxes, our ad valorem taxes for homestead people. Listen, Miami is probably at its most expensive right now. Living here is terrible.
We just got voted. We got voted as we went over New York, by the way.
So listen, people that tell you, "Hey, I'm going to build 10,000 new affordable housing units." Mentira. That's not going to happen because so many people are moving in here. You're never going to keep pace with it. What you need to do is you need to help the people that are here now, people that are homesteaders, people that have homestead exemptions. Mira, right now, the city budget only gets about 10% of its funds. 10% of the budget is from homestead exemptions or homestead taxes. You mean to tell me we can't find 10% savings in our budget and just do away with that portion of the taxes? That would be huge. Imagine if you didn't.
Break.
Okay, when I left the city 5 years ago, our budget was $1.5 billion. Today, the city budget is $3 billion. So I ask, where is it? Where's that $1 billion?
Simple question.
Okay, it's not hard. And then on top of that, back when Tomás Regalado was the mayor, his last year in office, if you remember, we all voted for a $400 million bond issue for resilience. ¿Te acuerdas?
Yeah.
That hasn't been spent. During COVID, the federal government gave the city of Miami $140 million in ARPA funds. ¿Dónde está? I mean, it's not a tough question.
No, it's not.
So, and I'm not saying, by the way, I'm not saying you stole it. I'm just saying, show me what you did with it.
But does that question even come up in the commission?
No.
So nobody brings that up?
So my point is, listen, if we all have household incomes, right? We have a budget. If things are going bad, you go to your wife and you say, honey, you know what? We got to cut back. We got to cut back 10%. If we cut back 10% on a $3 billion budget, that's $300 million. That more than covers the homestead property tax. More than covers. The other thing is, I've said publicly the day I announce, I'm going to ask the governor to send the Doge team down here, because all that Doge does, Doge looks at your budget and they tell you how you're spending your money. Do a deep dive. I want to know what we're buying. I don't think that's a very unreasonable question. What are we buying?
I don't think anybody wants that down here, though, right?
Well,
it's not going to be.
You know what? Then don't vote for me.
It's going to be. It's not going to be a fun day.
Then don't vote for me because I'm a resident. You know, I have an obligation to my neighbors, who, by the way, always stop me and tell me I need to do more. But those are simple questions. So anyway, the tax issue is one. The other one that I feel very strongly about.
La renta.
No, you have kids, right? Y'all have kids?
Yes, of course.
Okay. You live in Miami?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Chances are that your children will not be able to inherit your house. And I'm going to tell you why. I live in the roads. I bought my house at a price. That house has appreciated so much that the day I'm not around, the taxes will be so high on that house that my kids are going to have to sell your kids are going to sell your house because they can't afford the taxes on your house. The salaries here will not allow them.
That's crazy.
Okay, so what I want to do is I want to work with the governor because it's a state issue. And I want to say, okay, if you inherit a home and then that becomes your primary home, then you should be able to be taxed at the same rate that your parents had it. Well, yeah.
I'm a fan of Ron. Did he back you up?
Big time.
Really?
Big time. Yeah, he's already endorsed me. So again, why are we exporting our legacy? Okay, my daughter, she can't afford to pay for the taxes on my house right now. Yeah. So I think we owe it to our kids. Hey, you want to live? What's even worse? What if our kids move in with us to take care of us in our old age? That then becomes their primary residence.
We hope that
we hope
that they'll come.
Well, right now I'm hopeful that my kids will send me to a nice, classy, adult
You're gonna prepare for that. You're gonna prepare.
Cubans, we don't put our families in home.
Well,
es gringo, ¿no?
No, pero see, right? If you're
no sé qué está pasando.
Mira, if your kids move in with you to take care of you, and then you pass, and they inherit your house, they still got to sell it because they can't afford. So you're basically you've passed and you've evicted your kids because they can't afford the property taxes. I mean, it really is. It's unconscionable. So my goal, just to get back to your original question, we're not about building homes for people because first of all, the federal government won't allow a new housing authority. It's against the law.
Yeah.
But it's to make life more livable here, right? You don't pay taxes. If we can lower or get some money off of the budget, why can't we help with the county has vouchers for kids going through early learning centers and pre-K.
Yeah.
Why don't we double that? Well, we have a commissioner whose legal fees are $22 million. If we were to give working families a $5,000 voucher, you know how many kids you could help?
That's crazy.
Off of that $22 million that we're buying. So, I mean, there are things that we can do to make this place more livable rather than I'm going to go build you a house.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that because we're not old, but when we're older, you also want to push one of your campaign policies on the seniors, protecting our seniors, right?
We have a lot of seniors that are on fixed income, and they need help. And I visit senior centers, and they tell me that
everybody forgets about the viejito.
Hey,
they all forget about.
Oh yeah,
when you're older, we're not going to get there, right?
And that's why it's kids and seniors because many times we have working families here that, for example, the wife won't work because they can't afford the daycare for the kids and they can't afford elder care for the parents. So they have abuelo y abuela moving in with them.
But some people need both incomes as well.
That's my point.
Yeah.
So when that happens, you've only got one income, and essentially you're never going to get out of that rut. You're never going to progress out of the middle class. So if we can provide, and again, this all comes from savings, okay? I'm not taxing anybody. I'm just saying you look at the media, you look at the papers, you look at social media, and you find out this city is spending millions and millions of dollars on what? Okay, that's money that could be spent on investing in our seniors. We owe it to them, okay? I would love to be able to give every senior a voucher or every family a voucher so that abuelo and abuela, if you have to work, send them to a first-rate, elder daycare center where they can be looked after. You want your kids to go to first-rate pre-K.
Yeah.
By the way, the city runs three pre-Ks, which I staffed up. So again, I think there's an opportunity. It's very easy. It's very easy to say, I'm all for affordable housing. Bueno, perfect.
Yeah. Well, how do you resolve it?
No, define affordable housing. If you tell me that you're going to build a condo that workforce housing is $350,000 for a condo. Really? And a teacher makes $50,000 a year starting salary, or a police officer.
No way, bro.
So again, a lot of this tends to be smoke and mirrors. It tends to be good advertisement and good sound bites. But when it comes down to having an actual policy, none of these other people, all they talk about, oh, listen, we want to stop corruption. Really, how are you going to do it? We want to help people. We want to affordability. How are you going to do it? And what I've done is based on what I know as city manager is put down policies and say, mira, this is how we're going to do it. And you have to be bold because that's what it takes.
So continue on that fact. I wanted to ask you a question because we had this question last time as well. More buildings in the city of Miami. are we going to continue with more, buildings, high rises, more, it's like,
Look,
is Miami becoming the whole capital, the financial capital?
I'm not, listen, I'm not against buildings at all, okay? Because one of the reasons we have a $3 billion budget is all of these buildings going up, right? The tax base. But what I do mind is I used to have a boat, which I sold ages ago. And, when you're on the bay and you're looking at the city, you see this spectacular view, the stuff you see in the postcards. Oh, yeah, but you go 5 blocks in and people are paycheck to paycheck. People don't know where they're going to pay their rent. So my point with building is it has to be smart building. Mira, we are very fortunate right now. The people that buy those huge condos on Brickell, they don't live here, right? They're all like vacation homes. Tu te imagina if all those people lived here and had 3 kids.
Just the traffic in the elevator coming down is...
The elevator. Where are they going to school? We have a real issue here where some companies don't want to move here because we can't guarantee them a quality place for their kids to go to school. The most expensive schools in Miami-Dade County have waiting lists. Every Catholic school has a waiting list.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So I think we have to be smart about it. And again, I'm not saying don't build, but I'm saying as you put these buildings up, let's think about this. Let's think about what this means to the city.
Yeah, because at the same time, we look at that and we look at the fact of when it rains, the flooding around the whole, downtown area, the flooding around the whole Brickell area.
Mira, the flooding is something which everybody mentions, and people will always say, "Oh, I'm going to fix flooding." Oh yeah, Miami's built.
Now we're going through the king tide.
Mira, Miami's built on a swamp. Okay, so we have in the city of Miami, at least when I was a manager, we had over a dozen huge, like industrial-sized pumps. So what happens? You pump the water out of Brickell, and where does that water go? It goes right in the bay. So then it comes right back. I had a chance to visit the Netherlands when I was a manager. Those people know water. Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah. 20% of the country is reclaimed from the North Sea. Okay. And they would sit there and tell me, "Oh, you know what you guys need? You need a wall. You need a seawall that's 30 feet high, and you bring it out 50 miles." And then you put these huge gates in the Miami River, because by the way, our river is one of the few working rivers in the state of Florida. Yeah. You put a huge gate, and then you solve your flooding problem. I go, we're going to be like a fortress. First of all, anybody on Brickell, you're going to tell them, "Hey, I'm putting a 30-foot wall. I'm putting a 30-foot seawall.
Stop King Kong or Godzilla.
And suck it up." Yeah. But there is technology out there that you can do to protect buildings, for example. Which happens in a lot of... You could actually...
I know. I mean, to interrupt you. Black Point Marina, yes, it was completely underwater because of king tide.
Yeah.
Completely underwater. And Sea Spice, there was water in the dining room on the river. In the dining room.
So whoever tells you, "Hey, I'm going to put an end..."
It was a swim-up
flooding.
Yeah.
Whoever tells you I'm going to put an end to flooding, mentiros.
Right,
okay, you can mitigate it. Obviously, there's technology to mitigate it. You can protect property. You can
try and diminish a little bit of the flooding.
You're right. You could do things like, just to give you an example, you could turn a city park, into a pool, so that as water comes in, maybe you direct the water into a park. Because what is a park? It's nothing more than real estate, right? So you could turn that into like a pool to capture some of the water. But if you look at our geography, I mean, the city goes down like this, Brickell's, and if you go up the North Shore here to like Morningside and stuff, you're like this high off the water. I mean, forget king tide. A little shower will have your street underwater.
Right. Another one of the questions that I had, we were talking about family and affordability and stuff like that. Talk to me about your Miami Families First kind of like push campaign kind of thing that you've been...
Well, that's actually what we've been talking about.
Seniors as well. But
we got to take care of our kids. We got to take care of our seniors. We need to... here's another one that I'm having a lot of fun with is we need to be able to provide our families with appropriate health care. So I, as a mayor, I'm entitled to a health care plan offered to every employee in the city, right, by Company X. So why can't we make every person in the city of Miami eligible for the same health care plan that I have? I'm not saying we'll pay for it. I'm just saying you should be eligible for it.
Should have the opportunity to have it.
Absolutely. And then you work it out with whoever the
That's
provider
the
is.
case now, correct?
That's not. The only people that are able to get that health care plan are employees. Now, maybe you already have health care. Fine. Keep your own. Maybe as you expand that pool, it should bring the prices down. You would think. But the idea here is you want to offer the residents, only city residents, the opportunity to at least apply, to make them eligible to apply. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But at least be able to have an opportunity to say, hey, I want to buy into this healthcare plan. Doesn't cost me a thing. Won't cost the taxpayer a dime. Okay? But it's an opportunity to, again, take care of our families, man. Oh, yeah.
It's tough. It's tough.
Mira, too many, and this is now where I start preaching. Too many people right now, not only are people afraid of their government, they've lost respect for our city government. They point at people in the city. All they want to do is run for something else. Everybody there wants to run for something else.
Somebody has an agenda.
Everybody does. Everybody, and by the way, they're all of an age where they're aspiring. I want to be this and I want to be that. Been there, done that. Okay.
Yeah, you're old school, so you've been there.
Oh yeah, I've already been confirmed by the Senate. I worked in the White House. I was an undersecretary at Homeland Security. I'm fine.
You got crazy military service.
Yeah, I want to be the best mayor the city ever had. I'm not using this, by the way, and this is a jab at some of the people I'm running against. I'm not using this as a stepping stone. 2 people already are 3 if you include the unmentionable one, are using this as a stepping stone. My 2 Democratic opponents, or my 2 principal Democrats, they were always running for something else while they were in the job. Okay, so make up your mind.
What's it going to be?
Yeah.
Okay, so on that note that you were just talking about, what then was behind this whole situation of like they wanted to push the election?
Yeah.
What was the fact of pushing the elections? Explain that to our viewers. I don't think everybody
every time I opened my Instagram, it was Emilio.
What was the
Meet up. I decided to run, and I announced finally after a while. On April 9th, I decided to run. And I filed my paperwork, and then I started hearing, you know what? These guys want to cancel the election. That can't be right. So I kept hearing it, and finally they put it on the agenda as an ordinance change. Okay, an ordinance in the city of Miami has to be read twice, the first time, and then 2 weeks later, the second time. So, as the city manager, I've read the city charter. I mean, it's not exactly a bestseller, but you read it. It's what guides you, right? And you realize that they can't do this. This is wrong. The city charter in black and white says you can only serve for 4 years. And oh, by the way, this is when the elections take place. So these guys not only wanted to push the agenda, they wanted to cancel the election. They wanted to gift themselves an extra year in office. And
but they kept on stating that was for the better of the city because of the sense for the people for voter turnout.
No. Right?
What were they saying? What were they saying?
Okay, right up front, the only people that would benefit immediately is the people that voted for this. Okay, right up front, because they get an extra year in office, which is against the charter. They get another year to campaign, to shake people down, to raise money, which is against the charter. And secondly, you can't move the election. The charter says voters are the only ones that can decide when to move the election. So these people put it on the ballot. I'm sorry, not on the ballot, on the agenda for a commission. And it was approved 3-2. Politically, 2 Democrats, 1 Republican voted for it.
But was that their vote just to go ahead and push the election or to take it to a ballot?
No. It was to just push it back a year, to cancel this year's election and push it back. And then...
It's never been done before.
Never been done before. So then the Attorney General, so they voted 3-2. The Attorney General sends a letter to one of the commissioners that voted no and says, you can't do this. This is unconstitutional. This is illegal. You cannot do this. So what happens? 2 weeks later, they put it on the agenda again, and they voted it again. But before then, the Attorney General writes a letter to the mayor and says, don't do this. By the way, and it was, I mean, I'm paraphrasing now, but it's kind of like a cease and desist letter. If you do this, I will
You're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, I will use all my powers to make sure this doesn't happen. Por ahí. They did again. And in the meantime, the governor is doing interviews and on social media saying, oh, yeah, don't do this, man. Don't do this. So after they passed the second time, I sued him.
Who was pushing the hardest for this?
Which commissioner?
Yeah.
I think Commissioner Pardo. It was his issue.
Really?
This is something that with all the problems.
We had Damien on here.
Yeah. With all the problems that the city of Miami has, why do you want to die on that beach? You know? Oh, yeah. Save that. Save that. If I'm a politician and my governor and my attorney general says, oye, aguanta, at least I'm going to say, let's defer this for a couple of months. Let's look at it. The mayor and the chairwoman of the commission are both attorneys. I get a letter as an attorney from my attorney general. Oye, let me go at least talk to the guy. Let me go see what's going. Nada. So I sued him, and I picked up a just a total badass law firm out of Tallahassee, and we went to court. And
you had enough at this point where you were like,
no, yeah.
Let's ride with this.
No, let's do this. So I sue him, and we go to court, and the first trial court, the judge says, oh, yeah, you can't do this in writing. It's unconstitutional. It violates the city charter, the county charter, and the Florida Constitution, a trifecta, and is illegal. No. Okay, so I thought...
do you not think that they knew this before they take this to a vote?
I would think so.
Yeah.
Pero bueno.
I mean, we go back to the sense of then everybody always talking about the city of Miami.
Yeah.
You know, it's like always back to the fact of like, why is the city of Miami always in the spotlight?
But let me tell you what happened to your point. So I win, and then they appeal. Like 3 days later. And by the way, the courts expedited all of this because it's an election issue, so it's got to go fast.
Right.
In the meantime, you've got the Washington Post, the New York Times, the Washington Times, the Guardian, Bloomberg, all writing articles, to your point. What's happening in Miami? You talk about a reputational black eye. What's going on down there? Usted está loco. What's happening? Then you have the residents that are like incredibly pissed off. I mean, I'm telling you, look, we're from here. We are a collection of people who have left countries because we can't vote. And now you're telling them in their own city, oh, yeah, you know what? We're going to cancel the election. Hey, by the way, we're going to give ourselves another year. That happens in Nicaragua.
We're diverse, but they've divided.
Yeah. So I told these guys, I said, look, man, I've been in the military 26 years. I travel the world, spent a lot of time in Latin America, professionalizing their armed forces, promoting democracy. And I got to defend democracy here in my hometown. What's up? What's wrong with this picture? So these guys appealed, right? I go to the appeals court. 3-judge panel, unanimous. You're wrong. It's unconstitutional. You violated the charter, the county charter, the Constitution, and it's illegal.
And that was it.
No. Then they appealed again. They appealed the appeal. Then they appealed. They wanted, check it out, they wanted the same appeals court that ruled 3-0 against them. They wanted them to rule again, just in case they forgot something. Oh, yeah, you can't make this stuff up because I have the paperwork. And then
but it is the city of Miami.
Yeah. And then absent that, here you go. The appeals court in the 3rd District Court of Appeals consists of 17 or 18 judges, right? They're all appellate judges. Whenever there's a case, they draw lots. Only 3 judges hear a case at a time. So they wanted all 17 to hear the case. No. Then they wanted to be referred to the Supreme Court of the state of Florida. No. So that's 5 times that they were told no. And then finally, like 2 weeks ago, maybe 2.5 weeks ago, they finally said, okay, we're having an election. In the meantime, they wasted hundreds of thousands of dollars because they had to hire an outside law firm because they didn't have the bandwidth to go to an appeals court. I mean, it just, it doesn't make any sense. But what it does do, and this is something I see on the streets, people are galvanized now. That's why you get into the whole corruption. I guess I got esta gente.
And educating themselves.
Yes. All of a sudden, they said, wow, they could do this? They
How do you bring the residents back to even think of liking, again, the city of Miami, City Hall?
Because,
to have a positive...
Mira, I think that in any election, particularly one like ours, people make promises all over the place. Oh, I'm going to promise you this, and I'm going to build this, and I'm going to. But at the end of the day, the voter is going to vote on a person's honesty and their character, trust and character. Who do I trust? Okay, you could discover the cure to cancer, but if you're just a dirtbag and you're untrustworthy, then we don't know what you're going to do with that cure, right?
Yeah.
So
before you answer that, what does transparency and accountability look like under your administration?
That means that if you cross a line, If you cross a line, I'm firing you. And
like that, simple, easy.
In every office, there's going to. By the way, I don't know if you know this, but there exists a Citizens Bill of Rights for the residents of the city of Miami. In every office, we will have a Citizens Bill of Rights. You break that, you're fired.
That protects them, I guess, right?
Okay. Why? What's wrong with that picture? You have people doing shady deals. You're fired.
Has anybody taken into account that?
No, they don't even know it exists.
I mean, because
okay, so
accountability,
how many times
transparency.
have we been in the news with different situations going on in the city of Miami?
Here's an even better one. When you're an elected official in Miami and you get sworn in, you have to swear that you have to swear a civility clause that you will treat your colleagues and members of this public in a civil way. Think about that one.
Yeah.
No more videos.
That's been thrown out the window.
No more videos out of City Hall.
So let me give you another one that is going to be fun. I'm not going to do it, but somebody else may. The same city charter that says you can't change an election says if you violate the charter, you must vacate your office if you're an elected official. And what did these court rulings say? You violated the charter. You violated the Constitution of the state of Florida. You violated the
by voting for it.
Exactly.
And we told you no 5 times.
Knowingly voting for it. So the same charter that they now want to embrace says, oh yeah, you need to quit your job. You need to vacate your position. Now, I don't have the bandwidth right now to figure that one out, but I'm sure that there's some, citizen out there that's going to say
some groups or something.
Let's do this.
Yeah.
Let's take this on.
Because
the voters are upset, man. I'm telling you, man.
They are.
There is Miami's famous for people not voting, right? We have a
nobody shows up.
You know why? And it isn't.
Nobody shows up.
And people question me. By the way, that was another excuse as to why to move it.
They're decided on 12 to 20% of actual votes.
And it isn't that people don't like voting. People don't like the candidates. Oye, if I gotta vote between malo y peor, I'm staying home.
I know.
Bad and worse. No, you're not. I'm not giving you the luxury of my vote. So what we need to do is we need to energize the public. We need to get more people to run. This is not a family. Running for office is not a family business. I at the debate the other day, I told them, if you had gotten in a coma 30 years ago, and you wake up today, it's the same people.
By the way, how did that go? I just saw some clips about that debate.
Yeah, I had a blast. I had a great time. I really did.
Was anybody able to get something in there without being argued, or
it's
No piñaceras broke out.
no. Listen, it's a usual cast of characters, man. And again, if you wake up from a coma, look who's out there. And every single person there,
Nobody's ever changed.
every single person there except me is a career politician. They don't have a job. They don't work anywhere else. I mean, what do you do if you're somebody who's running for office and you don't have a job and you lose?
Yeah.
Man, I got to go work.
You got to go work.
Yeah.
We talked about real estate being one of the biggest issues in Miami. What industries within our city of Miami do you think have the biggest potential or long-term economic growth? That can help people, that maybe we need to focus on instead of just lowering the rent. Okay.
I think that we have for example, I think that Mayor Suarez, our current Mayor Suarez, has done yeoman's work in bringing tech firms here.
It's our birthday today, isn't it? We share the same birthday.
So, but I'm not convinced today that Miami will be like a tropical Silicon Valley, at least not anytime soon.
Why is that?
Because we don't have what we just talked about. We don't have the infrastructure. People want to move here. If they want to move here with their families, where do you go to school? Where do you live? What kind of transportation do we have? But what we do have that we can lean on is Miami is a world-class cultural city. Miami is a world-class sports city. Miami is a world-class medical facility, healthcare city.
Yeah.
So there are areas. Mira, I was the airport director for 5 years. Miami-Dade County has more flight simulators, commercial flight simulators, than any other place in the world.
Really?
It's a huge industry, huge industry. We could develop ancillary industries in aviation. We are an incredible logistics hub. That is to say, Miami has it all. But when people say, "Oh, we're going to be, the Silicon Valley South," before you pack up and move from Silicon Valley, all the ingredients have to be in place here. And I think that's what we need to do is build those ingredients so that people can feel comfortable living here. A lot of folks, by the way, they don't come to Miami. They go to Palm Beach, and then they tell people they're in Miami. Or they go to Fort Lauderdale. Oh, yeah, I'm in Miami.
Foreign Palm Beach.
Yeah.
Manny, do you have a question?
I got my favorite question for the last, but go ahead.
Before that, I want to say real quick, what are your first 100 days looking like in office, and let the people know?
My first 100 days in office?
If you get elected.
I'm going to pick a city manager that has as much interest in changing things as that there will be no daylight between the two of us. I'm going to immediately put together a task force to fix our permitting, residential and commercial. I want to fix procurement. Nobody wants to bid on contracts in the city of Miami because they're convinced they're all fixed.
I hate to say, I have heard.
So, and by the way, there have been court cases that have said, "Hey, you guys, you're fixing this," and those are things that you can do quickly, right? Quickly. But more than anything else, you need to set the stage, right? You need to tell the voter, you know what, you voted for me to make a difference. I'm going to make a difference, and it's boom.
What separates you from this crowded field of candidates?
First of all, I've already been there. I've done that. I have proven leadership experience. Listen, I ran an agency that had 19,000 employees. I have something that nobody else there has. I'll be honest with you. Nothing that we do in Miami we can do alone. We always depend on state and federal funding for anything. I have the capacity and the ability to go and talk to the highest levels of state and federal government. And my track record speaks for itself, man. Remember, we talked about trust and character. And character. In whose hands do you want to be? The mayor of the city of Miami is also the political head of the city of Miami. He is the face of Miami. He represents Miami at the state, federal, and international level. I'm going to just give you a quick factoid, and then you can research it if you want. Governor DeSantis has never visited the city of Miami.
At all?
When's the last time the governor...
Not even an airport?
No. Well, it's not in the city. When's the last time Governor DeSantis came to the city of Miami?
I don't know.
Nobody does. You know why? Because he doesn't come here. He goes to Coral Gables. He goes to the beach. He goes to Hialeah. And no viene aquí.
City.
This is Miami is Florida's signature city.
Of course.
Our governor doesn't come here. Well, yeah, that should be very telling. That should be very telling. But
what do you think? You voted for Emilio?
I don't vote in the city of Miami.
But if you did, you could. If you had a chance.
When I first announced my campaign in Spanish, se acabó relajo.
Oh.
Let's get down to business. Enough of this.
Well, before we leave, we love.
Before I ask my question,
go ahead. I mean, it's important for all of our viewerships. And this is one of the things that we like to do at Day Miami is really just, shine that spotlight on all the
platform. Yeah,
and we like for people to go ahead and listen so they can be the judge.
Sure,
you know what I'm saying. And we'll be getting some comments, and we will go ahead and forward them to your camp. Of maybe you guys can answer those. Those people come in as well. And then we're gonna do the last question, which is
before we ask that last question, maybe a little quick snippet there why people should vote for you into that camera, sir.
Emilio González is the best candidate around today. Emilio González is going to bring dignity, leadership, honesty, and transparency to this city. And Emilio González is going to take care of the hardworking families that live and raise families here. It's time to turn over a new leaf with Emilio González. The circus ends. Se acabó relajo.
Is early voting started already, or? When does that I believe
Just one out. This
Yep.
week, so
Yep.
absentee ballots.
absentees
All right.
and early voting is already coming out
Put all the information
by next
there
week.
and how they can check out Mr. Gonzalez. You ready for my question?
I'm ready.
This question is brought to you by Toast, South Florida's #1 POS system for all restaurants usage. Sir, your top 3 restaurants, starting with number 3,
What
is
are your go-tos? Any of your go-tos?
no pressure.
Man, well, it depends on what kind of food.
That's it.
Listen to me.
So,
Don't try not to be a
whatever you're in the
politician
mood
on this
for.
one because you say you're not a politician. Give me the straight number 3 spot that you like to go. That you're always there.
Mira, I
Familia, friends.
I like to go to a Rincón Mexicano on 8th Street.
There you
best,
go.
Best Mexican food in town.
Okay.
Boom, Rincón.
Mexicano.
Oh, my God.
Mexicano. Is it safe to go there at night? I'm just kidding.
Is there. But
It's right there on 8th
By the
Street.
way, I'm a big international foodie. Okay.
Wait. Number 2. Is this your number 2?
No,
That's number 3.
You're elaborating on number 3.
No, they're not in order.
Okay, well, we
But
count
I
that
have-
as number 3.
But I have a tie for number 2.
Okay, let's
Okay.
go with number 2 for Emilio.
Okay, the Thai food. Achana in the Grove.
Achana.
And Lung Yai on 8th Street.
So that's like a double juicy. Lunya is amazing.
Okay.
But that's 1 and
For
2.
Thai
We
food.
got one more left.
No, that's a tie for 2.
Lunya is amazing. I love it. He's been there forever. Okay. And Emilio Gonzalez is number 1.
You get off the plane and you say, I have to go eat where?
Gosh.
I know it's the toughest question of your days.
No, but first of all, like I said, they're not in order.
Matter. There will be commented on. That I promise.
Oh, Meraki, Greek Grill.
Meraki, my buddy Alex owns that place.
Alex is the
Which
man.
one? Yeah, the downtown or the Grove still open?
Both. Yeah, both.
Wow, hey, he
You go another
knows.
2.
Yeah.
He told you he's an international foodie.
He
And,
knows.
and you notice I didn't say Cuban food because
Greek.
The best Cuban food is at my house. So.
No, it's
Okay.
at my house. My mom
All
will
right.
take your mom for
All right,
sure.
we can all battle for that one.
Listen to me.
We can all
Listen,
battle for that
Real
one.
quick before we finish.
that tells you that Miami is a world class
Super
city.
diverse.
100%.
What's one of your favorite things in Meraki, real quick, before we go off?
Oh man,
I'm a Saganaki guy.
Okay, I love the pasta with the seafood in it.
Oh, my God.
I love the squid.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The fruta de mari there?
There's another restaurant
Yeah.
in the Grove called Fruto de Mar.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's also very good.
Well, Emilio, thank you for coming.
Maybe
and
like your list.
when you become mayor, if you become mayor, we would love for you to come to the podcast.
And
you
remember
go
us
ahead and let us know
with our
how your
tax
new
breaks
days are
and
coming
all
right.
reds.
Let's do this.
And clean streets.
When I become mayor, you
Yeah.
guys will do the broadcast from City Hall.
I love it.
Oh.
We can do it. We
got that,
we
Justin?
can go ahead and broadcast your
Sure, it's an
couple
honor.
of days here as being the mayorship.
Thank you,
And
sir.
everything.
Thank you.
And,
Thank you, sir.
really something
Thank you,
that
brother. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Emilio Gonzalez, guys. Go check him out. And vote
You'll
for him.
be answering and you'll be asking questions. Thank you, viewers.